Welcome back to my channel, where I've been really struggling whether to call this game Emberward, Towards Embers, or Emberward, Warding Against Embers. It's a tower defense game. We can play on normal difficulty. So Emberward, since you're going to be warding against monsters, probably is more appropriate. We've got a lot of different stages to go through, even in this demo. It looks like a classic tower defense game. Each stage we can get through. No talents, nothing in our backpack though. I'm sure we'll revisit this later when we have enough time. Only one character to choose. Oh, and some gear. What to choose here? Well, I don't know what any of these things really do, so let's read them. Fire, AoE damage, luck, drones, lightning. I think since I don't know what any of these really do or how effective they'll be, we'll go with fire, shall we? Ooh, new talents as well. Luck, critical hits, freezing. I'm kind of leaning towards Academy Certificate. It sounds the most boring, which means it's the best, right? The cost of drawing cards, again, I guess drawing cards is gonna be quite useful and it works for everything. So I think this one is gonna be the way to go. Okay, our first map. Let's see how it plays. Ah yes, wonderful. A lot of flexibility, it looks like. Well, I say a lot of flexibility. It looks like we've got a lot of bricks. I suppose they're bricks. And we need to place them. I don't think I placed that one correctly. But this is the first level. I'm pretty confident that we can get through it. I mean, you know, it's the game's fault for sure if I can't beat the first level. Certainly not my fault. Let's put down probably a few of every turret just to see what they do. Ah, the flamethrower turret, of course. The one which I picked this entire run because of. I don't have money for the third one, never mind. Let's make the path. It looks like very commonly in these tower defense games, we can create the hardest path for monsters to come in on. I'm not too sure about the mechanic here though. The fact that all of these blocks are inspired by Tetris, let's say. I mean, it kind of just makes it more awkward to place them in a fun and interesting and effective way. And wow, these towers that are on the map, looks like I don't need any turrets at the moment. Like I said, right, the first level, I can probably just not build anything and get through that. Okay, more blocks. Like I said though, they are just more awkward. Is that the point? I guess. The point is that it's much more difficult to create an effective maze, I suppose. Anyway, more turrets. I do remember killing the enemies very fast, so I can't imagine it will be too difficult. I suppose this is the first level too, so I'm sure we will get access to lots of different bricks in different shapes instead of just the L-shaped bricks. Although again, I mean, if I'm making a maze, I suppose ideally I would just want one block bricks forever. But then that wouldn't be much of a point. The draw mechanic, drawing new cards, also less effective than I hoped when I picked my talent for drawing new cards. It does seem that it just gives me more blocks, which are useful to build a longer path for the enemies to come down. But yeah, it looks like the unfortunate point for this demo is there are no upgrades for our towers yet. I can see upgrades on the horizon. You know, a lot of tower defense games really shine through their upgrades. There's a lot that can be done with different upgrades. It is nice to see you can change target priority. Even so far, the first 3 turrets, a decent amount of variety. There's not even a basic turret that just does damage. The first turret I have just already is a poisonous turret. AoE damage, flamethrower damage. I'm already feeling that there's quite a nice variety of turrets, given how good the variety is of just the base turrets, or just this group of base turrets that I have. Enemies too, with some variety. Bigger, slower, fatter. Wow, I'm quite rich actually. 167 gold. And these blocks don't really cost anything. So let's see if I can use these awkward blocks to make something more difficult for enemies to get through. It does look like at the moment I can just build lots more turrets. This is wave 4 out of 5, so I assume I won't have any problems. I do like the art style and colours too though. It's very cozy almost. Very colourful and bright. Very clear as well. It's very obvious what everything seems to be doing. Hopefully. I mean, I don't think I worked out even how to remove a block once I've placed it. I'm sure I'll do that later. But like I said, no need to yet. Since I am rich, I may as well just spend all my money. These turrets are very cheap. I'm guessing in the full game, money won't be this easy to come by. Or it will be, but there will be upgrades to peruse and to go into. Yep, lots more turrets now. Oh, that's nice. Looks like you can burn the forest. I'm not sure if that actually does anything. Perhaps you can make more space on the map if you decide to burn down some forest. If you want your mazy path to spread even further. There is a limit to that though, seeing as the enemies come from several different locations. Oh, there's a werebeast in this final wave. Let's see if it does anything special. Enemy variety so far has been interesting, but nothing special. Where is the werebeast? Ah, here it is. It's a wolf. Will it do anything? Yes, it will disable my turrets. For a brief moment, anyway. Not quite enough to get it through to the fire, though. Okay, we've got some resources we can use, and we've gained the ability to use some other card except for the L shapes, which is nice. And we can put something on this. Runes. Okay. It looks like getting something a bit more specialist. Fire, perhaps? Fire is 150%, whereas damage is just 100%. So I'm assuming if we just put fire towers on the fire or poison towers on the poison, it's much better than getting the damage runes. Oh, and another tower. So yeah, this is a bit like a roguelite game We can choose as we go through our run what is the most interesting tower we can do. I think, well, we had a lot of money and there are no upgrades. Sniper tower? And it's a fire element tower? I mean, yes please. Alright, I'm pretty confident that we don't actually have any enough resources to do much with our talents. Oh yeah, I guess we can get the first one. Increase the preparation time? That didn't seem to be that useful. I seem to remember we had a huge amount of time to prepare. So, I don't know if that's a useful talent at all, but it's the only one to get, so we get it. Okay, let's see if we can't stack some fire on fire for some damage. What do I want to do next? I think all of them are about the same. Let's see what the map is like. Okay. Yes, so these are our buff tiles. Oh, I thought we would just have the fire, but no, it looks like this is also the damage tile. So if we build a tower on this tile, it gets that buff. Okay, interesting, interesting. You have to be strategic with these maps. And this one does look like it has a very obvious path to build, make them wind around. Again, I hope it's not just wishing for straight walls and small blocks. And that sniper tower does have a lot of range, especially if we can put it on a ranged tile. Okay. We're gonna have to wait a minute. I guess this is why draw is important. If you really want to put down lots of blocks, you need to draw lots of cards. I only have a few blocks here though, so let's... oh, I need to place blocks to put towers on, and I need to make the map pathing much more difficult for the enemies. Wow. I mustn't fall into the trap of trying to do everything at once though, and then being like, uh-oh, I need to place some towers. But so no, I think these blocks are free to place, so placing 2 to make the path all windy. This block though, I don't really know. I assume the enemies aren't gonna be able to... I don't know what I'm doing with that one. Never mind. Towers, please, please, let me think. Okay. Just a tower anywhere. Like, the first wave last time was also very easy to defeat. Next wave, what does it say? Slimes and bees? They sound very easy, don't they? Slimes, that traditional enemy. And bees, well, I mean, okay. I am still, you know, with these games, planning ahead. Where is everything going to go? Aha! There we go. We have a block with a buff, and it looks like I've destroyed the buff. I think I've destroyed the buff. I'm not sure if it stacks actually. It might not stack. Oh no, how can I flip this block? Can I flip this block? Maybe one's a L block and one is a backwards L block. That definitely makes the path a bit harder for enemies. Yeah, I must admit, I am still struggling to see the value of using these blocks compared to blocks which just... Is that the point, to make it harder? To make it more difficult? I understand that, you know, there's a bit more strategy to placing the blocks because they're awkward, and to fit them together you need a variety of different blocks, and it depends on the map. But you've got to be careful not to just make it frustrating instead of... I mean, you know, I'm looking for a magical moment where I place blocks in a really inventive way to defeat the enemies, and at the moment I'm not sure I'm doing that. Still, the enemies are cooking nicely. I'm fairly confident that my second flamethrower turret is just getting the range boost and isn't getting the fire boost. It did look like that upgrade was completely destroyed when I put that block over the top of it. But now, we finally have access to the sniper tower on the ranged block. It's a very expensive tower, so I assume that it will just destroy everything. Okay, and yeah, see, this is the... you can place blocks to make a nice path. It's just more awkward. Yeah, more awkward for the enemies now, but still kind of awkward to place the blocks in a in a convenient way. Okay, the sniper tower, yeah, is targeting the highest HP creature. That mad bee. Yeah, for sure. The sniper tower. If I can just flood the back line with sniper towers, or, you know, put them on all of the ranged upgrade ones, then... ooh, that's looking good. Okay, fine. Let's put a fire tower somewhere, perhaps. Ooh. And we need a flamethrower tower, which I can't afford right now. So let's make the map a little more difficult for the enemies. Okay, seems okay. There is a brood mother in the next wave, though. Ah, great. Nothing really has troubled me so far, so going back to, it's only the second level. There's no way that there can be something too difficult if I'm, you know, at least playing fairly well. Oh yeah, excellent. Okay, there we go, fire tower. I assume it's doing more damage now, so that's great. Ooh. Need to keep up the small turrets too, though. I suppose if the sniper turrets take care of all the hard, tough enemies, then we still need a bunch of smaller turrets to get rid of the chaff. Alright. So, why don't we skip ahead a bit to see some of the more advanced tactics, or towers at least. We've got ourselves the frost tower, the missile tower, and a lightning tower, and a few more blocks. And let's see what a level a bit further on looks like. Well, more opportunities perhaps to create a maze. Possibly, anyway. It looks like it will be very difficult to create an optimal maze, especially with enemies coming from a few different directions, like previously. A variety of buffs to hopefully place your towers on. I'm still not convinced that these Tetris blocks really add anything to the gameplay. I suppose it does make you think about how you can place them all to create effective walls, to create effective mazes. but there's never, you know, every time I look at these blocks, I feel like Tetris. That's what it just makes me feel like I'm looking at Tetris blocks. And when I do that, I'm automatically thinking, how can I fit them together? Or how can I fit them in an interesting way on the map? And that just, it doesn't really seem like that's gonna help at all. Fitting them together on the map doesn't really gain you any benefits, really. Okay, there are some niche ways to think about it, but really, I guess I just don't really understand it. That said, everything else I'm very impressed by. The tower systems are very impressive, I think. It's really hard to come up with interesting concepts for towers in a tower defense game. There have been so many tower defense games that, you know, it's almost impossible to come up with a concept that's actually new. But I do like these missile turrets, these electric turrets. Nothing that is completely new, of course, but they are still interesting and attractive. They look cool, the designs are well made, and even the visuals for the missile turrets are kind of my favorite. You can just really swarm everything with those. As you can see, I've made somewhat of a maze for the enemies to come in, and yeah, I've been using the tiles that I have to try and fit them together in such a way to create both a maze and positions for my turrets. A lot of the bigger turrets, or more powerful turrets, or some of them anyway, are 2x2 squares wide. So you do need to think about where you place your blocks and how you place them together, probably to get the most optimal surface area, really, in some cases. Of course, you can place small turrets everywhere. I suppose at some level it does become a game of, I have enough money, I just need to make it efficient for me to place the turrets I want. Overall, I think this tower defense game, Emberward, has a lot of potential. One thing I'm really interested to see at some point in the future is the upgrade system, because that, in my mind, is very important. The difference between a good tower defense game and a great tower defense game can often be the upgrades, and it's unfortunate that we don't really get to see any in this demo. It kind of can be the difference between upgrades that are like plus 10% damage, plus 1 extra shot, and actual creative upgrades, which I can't think of course, but there are definitely other people, such as those who are creating a game, who can hopefully come up with upgrades that are more interesting, more game-changing, affecting a variety of things, which are not just, you know, plus 10% damage. Anyway, this is the final wave for this map. I think I should handle it. The missile turrets are a bit hit or miss. Okay, they're always hit, but they're random targets, so it can kind of spread the damage over everything. So hopefully everything gets hit and then suddenly everything dies. That's the plan with the missile turrets. I do have a decent amount of sniper turrets too, so they should hopefully get everything too. So yep, this is a demo for Emberward. I'm still not sure about that. And I'm looking forward to seeing what it will look like with upgrades in the future. Thank you so much for having a look at Emberward with me. If you liked this video, you can subscribe or like the video. and I will see you later.